Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and gives this video a thumbs up. Zoe McGrady, a contestant on The Bachelor Season 29, shockingly accused the show's producers of intervention after leading man Grant Ellis dismissed her during their overnight fantasy suite date. Zoe advanced to Grant's final four and received a hometown date despite never having had a one-on-one with him. Although her hometown date on The Bachelor Season 29 went well, Zoe realized that her fantasy suite date with Grant would be critical because he had spent so much time with Juliana Pasparosa and Lisha Gare. However, the afternoon portion of Zoe and Grant's date included them practicing quiet yoga. Zoe complained in an Instagram story about her silent yoga fantasy suite date with Grant, accusing the producers of meddling with her Bachelor Season 29 trip. It's startling that Zoe accuses the Bachelor Season 29 producers of silencing her on her date with Grant. The odds appeared to be stacked against her as she began her fantasy suite date without having ever had a one-on-one date with him. Zoe had spent the least amount of time with Grant, yet the producers chose a date on which they couldn't communicate. It makes you wonder what their motivation was for doing it to her. Zoe was presented as a villain on the second Bachelor Season 29 episode, when she took Grant away for an extended period of time during the basketball game group date. The other ladies eventually banded together against her, with Jo Hinks leading the charge. However, it was odd that they weren't upset with Grant for allowing Zoe to dominate his time. Other ladies, like Serafina Watkins, then made disparaging remarks about Zoe, such as claiming that her dress was the shortest she had ever seen. Zoe was really unhappy and even cried, yet she continued to captivate Grant. However, she was always fighting the other women, which was sometimes difficult to watch. It's surprising Zoe made it this far on The Bachelor Season 29, especially now that she's accusing the producers of meddling with her experience. Perhaps if Grant's season had been longer, Zoe could have had a one-on-one date with him. I agree with Zoe that she was hushed during her afternoon fantasy suite rendezvous with Grant. However, the question is why. Although all three women were compelled to partake in things that made them uncomfortable, such as Juliana's four-wheeler ride and Lisha's ziplining excursion, they had previously established a level of comfort with Grant on earlier one-on-one dates. Zoe needed a date where she and Grant could truly get to know one another, and quiet yoga was not it. Zoe's claim of producer influence has piqued my interest, and I wonder whether there's more to the story. Because she was one of Grant's final three ladies, she was unable to appear in the Women Tell All episode when she was a hot issue, but she will almost surely appear in the Live after the final Rose episode. I can't wait to hear Zoe's thoughts on her silent yoga date. I hope she explains why she felt silenced. Hopefully, Zoe will finally be able to express her thoughts and have her voice heard regarding all that happened to her during The Bachelor Season 29. Zoe McGrady's journey on The Bachelor Season 29 was nothing short of tumultuous, riddled with drama, producer interference, and an unfortunate end that left both fans and critics questioning the show's authenticity. From her controversial group date antics to the shocking fantasy suite elimination, Zoe's experience was anything but conventional. From the moment Zoe stepped onto the Bachelor Mansion driveway, she stood out. A former competitive dancer with a sharp wit and undeniable charisma, she quickly became both a fan favorite and a target of contention. Though she never received a coveted one-on-one date with Grant Ellis, Zoe managed to advance to the final four, earning herself a hometown date and, subsequently, a spot in the fantasy suite rounds. However, her journey was far from smooth. The producers strategically edited her interactions to paint her as a manipulative villain, that classic trope in Bachelor history. Early on, during the second episode, Zoe made waves when she took Grant aside for an extended period during a basketball game group date. The other women, particularly Jo Hinks and Serafina Watkins, were quick to condemn her, labeling her as selfish and desperate. What was particularly odd was that Grant, despite allowing Zoe to monopolize his time, received no backlash. The producers, it seemed, had already crafted their narrative, setting Zoe up to be Zoe continued to captivate Grant. There was undeniable chemistry between them, one that defied the producers' attempts to box her into a specific role. Her hometown date went well, her family welcomed Grant with open arms, and she shared heartfelt moments about her past, making it clear she was serious about their connection. But the lack of a prior one-on-one date meant that she and Grant had never truly had uninterrupted time together, making the fancy suite date a critical moment for their relationship. This is where things took a bizarre turn. For a date meant to deepen emotional and physical connections, Zoe was subjected to an afternoon of silent yoga, a meditative practice that required no verbal communication. The date felt less like an opportunity for romance and more like a deliberate attempt to sabotage any meaningful conversation between her and Grant. While other contestants were given high adrenaline or deeply personal dates that fostered connection, Zoe was left to communicate through eye contact and gestures, a stark contrast to what she needed at that stage in the competition. After her elimination, Zoe took to Instagram to express her frustration, alleging that the producers deliberately orchestrated her downfall. She pointed out how odd it was that, despite making it to the final four, she never had a single one-on-one date, and when she finally had the chance to connect with Grant, she was denied the opportunity to speak. Fans quickly rallied around her, with some calling for a re-evaluation of the show's editing practices and its treatment of contestants. Zoe's accusations sparked heated debates among Bachelor Nation. Some believed she was bitter about her elimination, while others found her claims to be disturbingly plausible. The franchise had a long history of manipulating contestant narratives for dramatic effect, and Zoe's experience seemed to fit a pattern seen in past seasons. Grant, for his part, remained largely silent on the issue. During his post-show interviews, he offered generic statements about how difficult his decisions had been but never directly addressed Zoe's accusations. His avoidance only fueled speculation. Did he know about the producer's manipulation? Was he complicit, or was he just as much a pawn in the grand scheme as Zoe had been? Though Zoe was unable to appear in the Women Tell All special due to replacement in the final three, she was a hot topic of discussion among the other contestants. Ali Jo and Serafina doubled down on their previous criticisms, insisting that Zoe had played a role in isolating herself. Meanwhile, others like Lisha Gare admitted that Zoe's portrayal on the show may not have been entirely accurate. The real showdown, however, would come during the After the Final Rose special. Here, Zoe would finally have the opportunity to confront Grant and the producers in front of a live audience. Fans eagerly anticipated her appearance, hoping she would shed light on the behind-the-scenes manipulation and the true nature of her relationship with Grant. Would Zoe be vindicated, or would the show once again attempt to control the narrative? One thing was certain, her journey on The Bachelor Season 29 would not be forgotten anytime soon. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, do not forget to subscribe to my channel and do not miss any update.